Okay, so we're going to start soon, so may I ask you to have a seat? Just relax, smile, be ready to listening, to listen, sorry, a very inspiring morning. Are you okay? Good, so good morning. Good morning, I'm very happy to see you, and we are very happy to welcome you here at the Haute École de la Province de Liège for the first Unigreen Annual International Conference. As you know, we discuss sustainability, research, innovation, economic development, which are the main topics integrated in the Unigreen project. The schedule of this morning, we will start with a short introduction by our provincial deputy, Mrs. Brodure-Willin, and then by Ilana Ivanova, European Commissioner for Innovation, Research, Culture, Education and Youth. There will be followed by our several lecturers. They are somewhere here, okay? And then at 11, we'll have a 30-minute break. And we will resume at 11:30. So pay attention, please, to the time. It's very important this morning. And at 11:30, we'll have the rest of our speakers for the day. The conference program is particularly rich, so I would therefore like to ask the different speakers to stick to the time set to each of them. I will pay attention to it, so thank you for this. And to finish, we'll have a moment, of course, dedicated to your questions. So thank you for attending our annual summit. Thank you. Is it okay, the sound? You hear me well? No problem? Okay, so let's start, please. And may I ask to a few applause, please, Muriel Brodure-Willin, our Provincial Deputy for Education, Training and Digital Transition. Thank you so much.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's my first in English. Dear rectors, dear directors, dear Unigreen members, dear partners, dear guests, I'm particularly pleased to be able to speak at the opening of the first Unigreen International Conference about how can higher education collaborate with specialized ecosystems to foster research, innovation, and economic development with a commitment to the future. First of all, allow me to thank our Unigreen partners for their presence, as well as colleagues from HEPL and those from other higher education institutions and the students who joined us today. The first Unigreen University Alliance, in which the HEPL has actively participated for almost 2 years, bring together 8 European higher education establishments and aims to create a leading European university in the fields of sustainable agriculture, green biotechnologies, as well as life and environmental sciences. The subject chosen for these days meets not only the values of this project, but also those that our higher education institution defends. It is also fully in line with its strategic plan. I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the speakers who accepted our invitation. Events like this are obviously very important in this context. This conference is also part of the broader framework of the Unigreen General Assembly, during which working meetings and discussions have been taking place since yesterday and will continue tomorrow. It's important for us to take advantage of this conference too. On the one hand, present the ecosystems with which we collaborate, and on the other hand, to share with you some projects carried out by the HEPL and which fit into this framework. On behalf of the province of Liège, and more specifically on behalf of the whole teams of the HEPL, I wish this morning will be rich in learning and sharing, and I have no doubt that it will allow our colleagues in the Unigreen Alliance to see new spaces for collaboration and fruitful exchanges. And even if it's a little late, I wish you an excellent New Year 2024. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Brodeur-Willer. I'm sure this is going to be a very interesting morning. European Commissioner Ilana Ivanova couldn't come today, but she wanted to say you a few words to welcome you as well. So please watch and listen.
Dear members of the General Assembly, it is my great pleasure to greet you at today's meeting, which marks an important milestone for your alliance. Unigreen's work is an excellent example of the European University's ambition and impact. Together, you have formed an alliance that goes beyond geographical and academic boundaries to promote sustainable development. It is your joint commitment and collaboration that make it possible to connect education, research and innovation, and convert expertise into solutions for pressing societal challenges. The transnational and interdisciplinary dimension of Unigreen will open a wide range of collaborative opportunities for students, staff and researchers across the participating universities. And you can continue to count on the support of the European Commission. We now have 50 European universities involving more than 430 higher education institutions. Having opened the 2024 European Universities Call, in the summer of this year, we will achieve the goal of building 60 alliances, gathering a total of 500 institutions. I also look forward to progressing our work towards a joint European degree, a European quality assurance and recognition system, and promoting sustainable and attractive academic careers. These actions will further empower the alliances to redraw the map of European higher education. Together, we will build the universities of tomorrow. We are committed to work together with you in building up stronger and more innovative European university ecosystems where all education and research stakeholders will work hand in hand. I wish you all a fruitful discussion at today's event. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
And I would like to thank as well the technical support for the video, cameras, pictures, sound. Thank you, all of you. And maybe you are watching us at home, so I hope you are having a good morning too. Thank you for the technical support. Great, so now let's start with our first lecturer. This is Mrs. Amal Tunzi. Yes, you can come, thank you. You're Managing Director of Bridge to Health, a cluster which created and animates the consortium of life science training. Good morning, please.
Good morning.
This is for you. Oh, just let me check. You can start now, 20 minutes,
Yes.
Okay for you? Great.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you again for the invitation. Really happy to be here. Made it on time, so I'm really even more happy to be here. I will be presenting Bridge to Health and the structure of the life science ecosystem of the Liège region and how this structure is working on the talent of the region. And that's a big focus that we have.
Good plan, good program, thank you.
All right, so we all know that we have here in the region of Liège a very strong life science ecosystem. We have the chance to have a strong university, We have strong hospitals. We have 150 companies that are active in the life science industry. We have strong funding structures, regional, but also federal, that are in contact with our ecosystem. And we built now very strong infrastructures where companies can start their work, grow, and hire talents. So that's the deal. So this ecosystem is working fine. However, if we want it to be even more competitive, even more attractive, we worked on a backbone structure which we call Bridge to Health. And the purpose of this is to build the bridges between those structures where it may not naturally happen, or at least it will accelerate those bridges and make everyone work in the same direction. Our missions, how do we do that? So how do we become this accelerator, this build bridger? So by doing three things. We feel it's important that people hear of what we are doing here in Liège. So we are working a lot on promoting our ecosystem. It's important that people hear, we are very humble here. We do a lot of great things, but we do it in a very discreet way. But I think it's important that we shine and that we really improve this promotion of our ecosystem.
So it's very good for you to be here today.
Exactly. So that's the reason why I'm here as well today, and I'm happy to be here, because what happens is that when you promote your ecosystem, then people see it and you become attractive. And that's the second part of our mission. We work on attracting companies to stay and to be anchored in our region. So we have a welcome team. We make sure that they're aware of all the assets that we have in the region in terms of innovation, in terms of talents, in terms of infrastructure. I mean, all the things I've told you, but we are very precise on the needs of that specific company. Third point, so we are a structure that is at the center, but we are also neutral, and this allows us to drive transversal projects that need and require the work of everyone, of all the structures. But we give the drive for those projects, and I will give you some examples during my slides. So we promote our ecosystem, we connect the external world and companies to our ecosystem, and we develop this ecosystem. If you want to hear of what is happening and what we are doing here in Liège, all those pictures come from our LinkedIn page, so that will allow you to see that Liège is very active in our industry. So in the promotion, we are working to promote the ecosystem here nationally, but also internationally. We go to conferences and we also work with structure like the AWEX, who help us in this project. The connection, we recently helped a company anchor, a CDMO, anchor here in the region, in the stem cell and gene therapy. And that's also a win for the region. This company is Chinese. She wanted to have a European anchor, and she had basically all Europe to choose from. But Liège was their choice. And I think it's a win, and we need to be aware that we're able to do this, that we are very competitive. And to develop, we are working hand in hand with a lot of players, because we are working on the talent aspect, we are working on the infrastructure aspect, but you will see this more structurally. I want to make sure that you all are aware of the Liège ecosystem. I will go quickly on our strength, on our assets. so that you're all aware and you will also be promoting our ecosystem and talking about it and knowing tomorrow where you will apply, where you can help, what can be done. What do we mean by, just that we all understand what we mean by life science? So that's all the medtech companies, so medical technology, the biotech technology, the pharma and the healthcare, as well as all the structure that do work and that are the underlying support services. So that's our ecosystem, that's the industry we're talking about. It's a bit dark, but so some key figures. So some of our assets, of course, is that we are well positioned. People say Liège is a bit too far, but it depends for who. So I think it's nice to be aware that we're very central in Europe. As I mentioned, so 143, 150 beginning of 2024. Companies working in the life science ecosystem. We have 4,000 direct jobs and 12,000 indirect jobs in this industry. A lot of money is allocated to the research, the innovation. Many researchers are also involved, and all those talents are held in 30,000 square meters of infrastructure for the moment, and some projects are up to come.
It's very interesting because there it's written Liège port, airport, the train, and soon the tram.
Exactly, of course. Connected internally and internationally. So the university and research, I mean, we do have a strong university. We have the Giga Institute, which is also an institute that shines through its innovation and technology. We have some fundamental and applied research for animal and health research. That's also an asset of the ecosystem. And we are close to centers like the CER, where people can have do some animal testing, which is key for our industry. And they're working in extremely good conditions. So that's a state-of-the-art structure that we're very proud of. So innovation is here, innovation is in the region, and
it's good to say that because maybe you still have in mind that before Liège was very great in industrial part of the economy. So now, how can we develop the economy of Liège? And I think this cluster is very important, so thank you to explain us this today.
Thanks. We have hospitals, because hospitals are also part of the value chain of the life science ecosystem. Hospitals are, of course, the last users of the medication, the biotechnology that we develop, but they're also part of the innovation, because we have feedback from doctors, because they also part, or medical staff, part of the innovation, and they also help the industry in the design of clinical trials, making sure that medication reaches even faster the patient. We have some growing clusters, so that you are aware of. We are very strong into diagnostics. We have some strong companies and some success stories within that field. Into nuclear medicine and radiopharma, it's a very good and a very growing, fast-growing value chain here in the region. We will be preparing some workshops on this, so stay tuned, because that's also a part of the field that is a niche, but that is very fast-growing. So keep an eye on this one. We do have a cluster in ophthalmology, and more generally in implants. We're very good at the chemistry of implants here in the region. We have an expertise that is quite difficult to acquire because it's between chemistry and biology. So that's a strong asset we have. And on the cardiology implants also, we do have some strong companies and success stories. We work, of course, we don't work on our own and in our corner. We make sure that we are connected, of course, to all the helpful structures that we have here in Liège, but also in the Walloon region. And so that's also key and part of our role as Bridge to Health, to build bridges with those structures.
Yeah,
we have
public
many
partners
Yeah,
as well.
we have many partners. There was recently some work done with BioWin on the ATMP, so that's more on the really the cell therapy, gene therapy field. So there was 81 million that was allocated, and we have many companies of the region of Liège that are part of this call. We realized that in order to anchor a company, to make sure a company stays, we had small, what we call lab hotels. So we had like small structures, small space where companies could start. We have some spin-offs of the university. However, at a certain point, they need some space. They need to grow and have their own production line, which is what we wish them to have. And that's why with the NOCHAC, which is one of the and Wallonie Santé, we had the Legia Park structure that was started 3 years ago and is now up and running. So if you have the chance to come and visit it, very welcome to do so as well. And of course, we work with all the other actors that are offering lab space, because of course, when a company comes to Liège and knocks at the door of Bridge to Health, we make sure that she finds a spot, the most adequate one for her. And some projects are also coming, so we are planning also to work on facilities next to the university and next to the hospital, to the CHU. That's also one of the plans of infrastructure. So having an infrastructure that is close to university and to the CHU and the GIGA. Funding, of course. Money is, I told you that talents are key, but money is also needed. And so we make sure that we connect the companies of our ecosystem and the one coming to the right infrastructure for funding, either locally, and then we work with other funds that are European that can help on the bigger rounds of investment. So I hope that with those slides, you're all convinced that Liège is a dynamic ecosystem where collaborative projects can be developed. We do have, we all do this through connection. We are stronger through connection. So that's the purpose. And we realized that this could also be helpful, this connection could be helpful in the talent aspect, in increasing the talent aspect. We are people. I mean, I'm here today because I'm part of Bridge to Health. You're here today because you're part of a structure. Tomorrow you are willing to join a certain industry. But then be aware that people are working to make sure that what you are learning fits best what is needed. So I think it's important that you are aware of this. And so to do so, and to make sure that all the actors of the training and the ones that are giving trainings in our industry work together, we created a consortium of all the training actors of the life science ecosystem. Of course, HEPL is part of it, and we're very happy to have the Haute École. We have other Haute École like the ELMO and ALUX, but we have also the university. We have the Forem, which is also part of this structure. So the purpose really is that we all work together to find the right things to do for the talents, to find their right, let's say, their right job, the one that makes sense for them. How do we do that? I think we realized there were 4 pillars that were important to work on. The STEM awareness. So the STEM is really everything that has to do with science, technology, engineering, and medicine. So let's say sciences, that's...
Science, technology, engineering, medicine.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
exactly. And so this is important because I mean we can generate a lot of trainings. We can have many companies, but if people are not aware of the value of this of those studies, then we won't have people tomorrow. And I think that you fall in love with science because you realize that it's useful, because you realize that it's fun, because you realize that that it can open doors, and that's at least the reason why I studied science. And then the second pillar we are working on is really on the optimization and the creation of training. And we have a lot to do in this as well, in the mindset of our industries, in the mindset of the people, realizing that maybe dual trainings could be a good thing. So having a part of your studies at school, but also a part in the industry that could make things more efficient. And so we are also working on those aspects with different actors. And of course, as we are very close to the companies and the industry, we make sure that people that are trained are well connected to the industry, and so that the connection is smooth and that they find the right partners. And of course, then we really emphasize the companies, and we do try to find solution with them that they recruit the right people, but also that they make sure that they stay, because that's the other part of the job, making sure that they have the right conditions to stay and thrive in the companies. Some examples here. We'll go fast on this, but we with the group of the consortium of the life science ecosystem, we were part of the Festival Image et Santé, for example, to work on the STEM awareness. We made a conference on talent retention with three CEOs of the ecosystem, showing how each of them made sure that the talent stayed, made sure, so each one of them had a different strategy that was interesting. We worked with AptaSkill, which is a structure that trains industry workers, but also people that are looking for a job into the life science ecosystem. They now have a line here in Liège, at the Legia Park. And we work, for example, with the HEC Liège in presenting the life science industry to people that are not in science, but may help companies in their growth.
Here we have, as you know, health science students, so maybe they can join the consortium, but we also have students in marketing and communication, so do not hesitate to maybe, I thought them just there to come later, just after the conference, maybe speak with you, because I'm sure they can help you to develop your images and all that stuff.
I would be thrilled to do so. So please come and see me. And all this is done with a team, and I like very much this team because this team is really part of the ecosystem. We're not only bridge to health people, so we're not just the structure. Each one of us is still working also in his, let's say, mother structure of the ecosystem, which make us still anchored in the everyday life. But we connect, and here we have Nadine Bouillon, so she's here, and she's here today.
Which one?
Wait, she's here. She's here, and she's here today. You can also
Nadine?
come.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also.
Oh, okay.
You can also come and talk to her because she is heading this consortium of life science actors of the ecosystem, and she's doing a great job. And I want to thank her today as well. And thank my team, and thank you for the invitation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, very interesting. Thank you, Amel, really. Thanks. Okay, so for the questions, yeah, just after all the lecturers, you will have all the time you need to ask your questions to Mrs. Amel, for example. Thank you. Good start. Very interesting. Oh, now, yeah, before the break, is it correct? It's not the break, I'm sorry. A little bit later. So I'm sorry. In a few minutes, no worries. Okay, now let's welcome our second speaker, Yuan Che. Yeah, International Affairs Officer for Wagralim, the Agri-Food Innovation Cluster in Wallonia. Welcome, good morning. Thank you, yeah. This is for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So should I start? Yeah.
Yes, you can start 20 minutes if it's okay for you.
Good.
Let's talk about Wagralim.
Yes. Thank you for the invitation. Happy to be here with you all, and also happy to follow Mr. Tongzi's presentation because a lot of challenges, big issues, and important points was talked just before. I would also like to highlight that importance of the life science. In fact, I'm representing Wagralim, the Agri-Food Innovation Cluster of Wallonia. So as the agri-food expert in our field, together with my colleague Enrique, who will give another presentation, we all together is regrouped under this life science thematic, and it's very important to also to know we also need talent in our sector, and agri-food is not only about beers, waffles, and chocolate that they are great. We love them.
Okay, maybe
also,
I can work for you. I will work for you, but for you it's going to be hard.
But it's also about biotech. Biotech is not only medicine, pharmaceutical things. We should not forget that biotech is also involved in our agri-food sector. Especially, we need to know that type of fermentation, for instance, is a technique of biotech, which was used initially in the ancient time in our sector. So as the agri-food innovation clusters, we are in, of course, the food part, and we are also having our colleagues in our different sectors like logistic, Skywing is about aeronautic, Megatech, it was mentioned, and of course Enrique is here for Greenwind, for the green tech. And together we also have the support from the AWEX and WBE for this internationalization part. As the cluster, we are a membership-based organization. We regroup around now 300 members. Most of them are companies. We should know also that in our sector, we have a lot of small SMEs that are only having 2-3 people in their organizations. Of course, we have also large company. As the strategic area of our sectors is also highlighting that we are working in the value chain focus, is we have this part on the sustainability and interconnected agri-food system, because for us to be efficient, we need having farmers, we need to have ingredients providers, and of course serving the food industries at the end. Then we accord a lot of importance in the transparency and efficiency of our industry. We know that there's a lot of food scandal because news, well, if they don't have any topic, they will talk about food scandals because it's something that attracts views. However, we as the cluster, with our scientific colleagues, we also help them to be more transparent and gain the consumer confidence and trust. Then about the nutrition and consumer, again, of course, we know how important nutrition is and the health, a good health is. We don't only need medicine, but we also need to have a balanced nutrition diet to be fit. Here's just some examples that we gave in 2023. We will, of course, follow those thematic and AD news. So for the first strategic area, we started with the AWEX for helping a group of companies in the biosolution part. So what is biosolutions is alternative products using in the agricultures, like biostimulant, biofertilizer. We would like to ban those chemical product in our field to have more natural ingredients. However, we need still some other solutions, more natural solutions for agriculture. Then we also have thematic group on energy, water, packaging, and of course nutrition. There's just some example. Today I will focus my presentation on 3 services, 3 big group of projects we are having to fit the thematic of the day is about the green sustainability. So I will focus my presentation in the circular economy part, internationalization, but mostly European project part, and our R&D project to also show you the diversification of our sector. Just to start, because the thematic of the day is how to collaborate with high education institutions. As the innovation cluster, we stimulate collaboration between academia, industries, competency centers, and we also have this, we give a lot of importance to consumers. To start, to generate project, we need to structure these ideas. So for I would say 1 year, we now start having an ideation workshop with all these companies or researchers who have some great ideas, but we need to help them to give a structure and then ask the appropriate help, either from regional, national, or European. Some project examples granted by regional government. So the first one is C2C. Directly, we want to valorize co-products into new sustainable biosolutions for agriculture. So this is to show you we are not only talking about final food, processed food, but we also have a lot of projects at the beginning of the value chain.
I just want to ask a question because we are listening every day problems with the farmers in Paris, here in Brussels, Liège, and so on. So I just wanted to ask you if in these clusters, do you have distribution companies or international companies? Because maybe the problem is there with the problem of the farmers. Do you have companies in the distribution?
We have some distributions, final products companies. Yeah. Of course, it's taking our mind. Of course, we want to have a sustainable agri-food value chain. The challenge is, in fact, from a little bit the person in the field, but external point of view, because we are not farmer, we are not food industries. We should say we need to have this correct price for everyone. However, I don't know if you followed different other news. Like once we talked about this movement, then directly after we said, okay, Belgium consumer is going to France to do their shopping.
Yeah, maybe this is also a problem with the taxes.
Can you see this issue is if the consumer cannot accept that we increase the price,
yes,
then where should we take out things?
Maybe, yeah. Learn.
Of course, everyone needs to accept to reduce the profit, the margin. But if no one doing it, if the consumer is not doing it.
This is an ecosystem. Maybe you can or we can learn how to consume sustainable, pay a little bit more for good food, maybe.
I think.
Okay, this is another point, maybe another conference day. Thank you.
But it's very interesting. Thank you. Then some other projects still under this strategic area is about to make the local castle more sustainable. We are working on the feeding improvement for the Blanc Bleu Beige, the local castor race. Then another one is we know that wheat is worldwide important plant and how to make it more strong, how to improve the immunity of the plant to feed more people, because we know there's a lacking of food. That some other projects, yes, here is typical one project that we developed with the whole value chains from the farm to the fork part. So we have companies, farmers involved, mostly cooperative companies. Then we have those who transform this cereal or other ingredients into processed food at the end. Then the other one, how to increase the fertility of the Wallon Castle, because even though we have this more plant-based trends, there's still a need of animal protein. So, and we also have industries in this field. We cannot say, okay, you are abandoned, we won't work for you. It's still the regional economy. Some other more R&D projects and linked to biotech applied for food sector. We have the proactive, is how to manage better the process used, the use of enzyme process. So increase the productivity, the quality of the processed part. The other one is more about fermentations, is the fermentation precision, how to make it better controlled in a company. The other one is more about vertical farming, how to still grow plants, but internally. The first on the right side is we successfully, I said we because we assist them, but it's the companies and the researchers who together developed the project, and they successfully developed a light recipe for plant that is allowing them to grow indoor. And with this success, we also have the second project, HEPL, who is dealing with more digitalized system. So integrate the light recipe and other mechanism to have more plants indoor. For the efficient and transparency, we have some projects on tools, like more flexible tools to detect bacteria, bad bacteria during the process, or the bad smell of some not qualified meat. About nutrition is something is very important, because we have a very good system of food supplements. I know sometimes we can consider them into health, but in fact, under the European law, food supplements is under food legislation. So here is a project that we want to develop alternative ingredients to replace a conventional one. The other one is improving the microbiome of the pig's immune system. To improve the pig's immune system, and the other one is how to help to increase the intestinal health of us. Now something about circular economy. It's a quite heavy slide to read, but just to show you, sustainability is important. We know that the agri-food sector is of course, the first target of everyone. But I would like to show you there's improvement is made day by day by our companies and ecosystem. We have some thematic in water. We have how to develop value chain, local value chain, and we also have thematic group on packaging. So working more with our European colleagues, because this is something we need competencies from other regions.
It's very important to listen to you. I'm sorry, because we often listen that, okay, sustainability, this is not economy. This is not possible, it's not good. But when we hear you, when we see that, we can realize that sustainability for Earth, for the people, with good food, with the well using of the resources, we need economy. We need to develop actions like you do, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. And in fact, sustainability is about the 3P definitions, is people, planet, and prosperity. Of course, economy is there. And what we would like to do is bring the environmental aspect to our companies to help them to improve, but still maintaining regular, economical development, but still having this importance of environmental sustainability.
Exactly.
Something about Europe, because we are here also thanks to the European program as the innovation cluster. We are also participating into diverse program as innovation actions, research innovation actions. Those are on the last line of my slide. Those are our granted project from Europe, and we have projects on internationalization development of companies. We have research project with other universities, mostly in Spain, Italy, that we also observe the innovation in the agriculture. We also have a project on valorization of co-products from the agri-food sector. And the last project, Biotech for Food, is how to enforce the use of biotech in our sector. And we hope to have other projects to come. Here is a short mapping of our partners in Europe, and we are members of several European networks like CBE, EIT Food, and we are also taking part strongly in the S3, but at the European level, and we are coordinator of one of them, which is the ingredients for circular economy.
And you have initiatives in Western Europe, Eastern, North, South, everywhere in Europe?
Yes, exactly. So in our partnership, FRCE, in which we coordinate, we have partners from Lithuania, from Greece, Spain, France, Italy. So it's quite a diverse ecosystem. We also have the first one is about digitalization. This is also very important because we are a little bit behind of other sectors, but it's important also for sustainability, because we are talking about twin transition. Twin transition is about sustainability and also digitalization. Just to tell you that we are organizing an international event on the 11th of April, that you are all welcome in person or participating online, because we have the hybrid system. This is the event we put forward the S3 strategy of Wallonia. So we are very active in the European level, but we also coordinate and help our local S3 to develop. So it's an occasion for you to also listen to other topics like protein, like more innovative ingredients during the day. And it's organized under the Belgian presidency.
Wagralim, appetite for innovation.
Yeah. So that's all. I hope you enjoyed my presentation, and I'm available for questions later.
Yes, really. Thank you so much. Thank you, Yuan. Talking about agri-food, I hope that you are not too hungry now. So this will be for later, because now and before the coffee break, it's time for Enrique Gonzalez. Okay, you can come, please. Membership and Networking Manager for Green Wind, to join us. And Greenwin aims to contribute to the development of a prosperous, sustainable and responsible industry in Wallonia. Good morning and welcome, Mrs. Gonzalez. Mr. Gonzalez, I'm sorry. It's in English, I'm sorry. No problem.
No worry, no worry. So, morning, everyone.
Can you hear Mr. Gonzalez? No. Let me check. It's gonna be better like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, good morning,
Thank you.
everyone. I'm Enrique from Greenwin. Greenwin is the Walloon Clean Tech Innovation Cluster, so quite familiar with Yuan, maybe the brother or the sister to Wagralim. I will not be so exhaustive in my presentation than Yuan, but I'm a man. That's all. So again, thanks to HEPL for inviting us and to give us the opportunity to present the Clean Tech Innovation Cluster today. So again, who is Greenwin? As said, so we are the Walloon Clean Tech Innovation Cluster with a focus on subtopics such as chemistry, and mainly green chemistry, and white biotechnology. We have a second important axe that is the sustainable construction, mainly focusing on materials and processes. And finally, the third axe, the third important axe is green tech, environmental technologies, mainly applying to remediation, soil, air, ground remediation, but also recycling technologies. We have also two cross-sectorial and transversal areas that are circular economy and Industry 5.0, so the digitalization of these applicative sectors. So this is another way to understand where we are working on, where our members are working on. So first axis, chemistry, construction, and building and environmental technologies with, again, subtopics. We are, and all members are also active in carbon capture, usage and storage, so CCU, in carbon transformation, also mineralization, chemical storage, and so on and so on. Yeah, but still with a common objective, and all the projects we support and all the projects we are working on have some common objectives that are the carbon neutrality, the decarbonization of the industry, and the fighting against global warming and so on and so on. So these are the main topics we are working on, but as Innovation Cluster, how we are working on it. As Innovation Cluster, our job is to help the development of research and innovative and collaborative research projects. Still on these on the topics we have I just showed in the last slide. We are not, as Innovation Cluster, working directly on it, but we help all members to do that. And we talk about, when I talk collaborative, it means we don't want to have several and separate projects. We want to bring around the table whole the members, whole actors of the value chain, because this is the objective of Wallonia, is to transform the value chain in chemistry, sustainable construction and environmental technologies to virtuous and regenerative value chain. So including the economic way, the economic aspects also. Yeah, and so each project we support pass through a life cycle analysis. Again, in order to be sure we are supporting project in the good way that meets needs of Wallonia, but that is also safer for the environment and good for the environment. This is some figures about the innovation cluster. So we have today something like 220 members active in the three applicative sectors that I showed: chemistry, construction, and environment. Mainly composing by industry and mainly by SMEs. Something like 70% of our membership is composed by SMEs, but also by research center and scientific ones, so academic, university and high school. We have today, so Unigreen was created in 2011. And since 2011, we helped the development of 94 projects today. I will show you some example later on. And we are also, as Innovation Cluster, a member and partner of some European projects. The two last one are Live Giga Regio Factory, focusing on renovation, on industrialization and massification of the renovation, and EDIH Connect, focusing on the digitalization of the sectors. So you once said that agri-food was behind in terms of digitalization. I can say construction also. And the solutions exist, but they are not still implemented in industry for economical reason mainly. Maybe I don't know if it will work. It was another way to show you some figures, but it doesn't work. So it's okay.
Is there an animation or something?
Yeah, I can try by
technical support, please.
I think it's okay like this. No worry, that's not important.
Maybe
I
sure
suppose,
we can try.
I suppose slides will be shared with
yeah,
participants
so.
afterwards.
We will share the PowerPoint.
But it's okay. Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. We don't need. It's okay.
Okay, maybe after the conference.
It's okay. It was just some more figures about Unigreen. So. To be more concrete and to show you some kind of project we are supporting, we are supporting. It's more clear like this than with theoretical and figures. So the first one I would like to share with you. It's the Remind Wallonia. Remind it's for reverse mineral industry in Wallonia. This is a structural portfolio. It's a structural project that aims to develop the circularity in the mineral industry. It's composed by today something like 15 partners, 15 members, and also research centers and scientific ones. And the purpose of this structural project is to gather all the actors, the important actors of the ecosystem, of the value chain, in order to be more circular at the end. You have some explanation more here. Industry, university, but also investors, because as said by Yuan, money is the key again, but with corporate and also with the support of a regional instance and institution like SPW, like HEWEX, like WBI also. The second one is on another sector, but with the same idea. This project is called Reno Plus, and aims to accelerate the renovation in Wallonia via industrialization and massification. So again, we need to gather all the important actors of the value chain, including the consumers, you, me, the buyer, so to develop some pilot projects in terms of renovation. The first pilot project was launched 2 months ago, I think so, in Wallonia, and it was in Braine-l'Alleud. I don't know if you know, and it was a renovation train. So concretely, 20 private houses were renovated via the same standards. So each house has the same type of renovation, and the idea again is to accelerate the massification, to reach the objective of Wallonia in terms of renovation, but also to reduce costs for the buyer and for the candidate, so the consumer. The third one, and I don't want to go deeper on it because I'm sure, and I think it's here, I'm sure Cédric from TUID will explain it also. It's the project EcoDo. Again, same principle, a portfolio of several projects that aims to decarbonate the Walloon industry. Mainly, in this case, focusing on electrification of processes, carbon capture usage and storage, but also production and use of hydrogen. And so, yeah, the objective, the same, decarbonate the huge industry and the historical loud industry in Wallonia. Here, it's only to give you an overview of some projects developed by our members. As I said, we have a portfolio of 94 projects. I will show you only 2, but I can share some more example if you need and if you want, of course. The first one is the project called Francis, coordinated by AGC, AGC Glass Europe, that aims to develop super insulated glass in order to reduce materials using to facilitate application in the renovation, but not only. So this is to show you an example of projects that we support, that our members develop. These projects received money for that. And these projects are the collaborative and innovative ones. So you can show here that the project is coordinated by AGC, so industrial ones, with two SMEs as industrial, but also with research centers and academical ones. So that's the explanation of our collaborative objective. Next one, the project REPLIC. In this case, led by HEPL, that is an intercommunal. I don't know the exact terms in English, to tell you the truth, but yeah. So it's quite private-public institution, but again with industrial, and with research centers. The aims of this project is to reuse old and already used gypsum to perform to a new and high quality gypsum. So we are totally on the circularity objective. In this case, focusing on the construction sectors. But again, this is only an example. I can show you more and more, but I think it's not really the place, and we don't have time to do.
Next year.
Yeah. So yeah, I can give you more explanation about it. And last but not least, no.
A video, figures, something?
No, I think. Okay, I lost my last slide. Maybe I didn't share the very last version. But last but not least, the opportunities. More and more Greenwind, and I will put this. It's better. More and more Greenwind is trying to deal and to work with students, and I didn't expect so much students today. So the opportunity is great. And so more and more, so yeah, we try to create an environment, a favorable environment for the collaborative development project with students and industry. And one of our next projects is totally on that. So the project is called Home Sapiens, mainly focusing on construction sector, sustainable construction sectors, and mainly focusing on materials, and so chemical materials, green chemistry in this case. And the purpose is to gather industry and students to develop, to create innovation in these sectors. Concretely, we will launch a one-year bootcamp from September of this year to June of next year. So during an academical...
Here in Wallonia?
Here in Wallonia, yeah, here in Wallonia. And so, yeah, this is a way we can find some more collaboration. If you want to help industry to transit and to go to sustainability and to develop virtuous and regenerative value chain, yeah, just contact me. You can find all my contact details there, or by scanning this QR codes. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Enrique. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you for our first lecturers. It was so interesting. I think so many information, so important information for us, for our life, for the future. And all these actions and connection, partnership with high schools, universities, industry, all over Europe, I think we can say that Europe's Got Talent. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. So while you go seated, I just want to give you a very important information because, you know, we're talking about sustainability and you all have, I think, or quite all, maybe a badge. And the badge is seated. So you can put it in the floor, on the ground, and maybe in a couple of months you will see a nice plant or a flower or whatever. So it's very important and you can try and you will see what you get. Okay, so second part of this very inspiring morning. And let me introduce Cedric Brull. Where are you, Cedric? Okay. You can come here, please. And you're going to talk about TWEED, a cluster that promotes investment, research, and innovation in sustainable energy and water ecosystem in Wallonia and Brussels. What a program. I'm going to, yes, help you with your micro. Okay, I think now.
Yeah.
No worries for it.
Yeah, but just to, because when I go in my field, I like to speak, so I just take my phone just not to go further. Happy to be here. I'm Cedric Brull. I'm the director of TWEED. I will explain you what is the cluster and what is the link between energy and water sectors and higher education institutions. I will try at least to give some examples, concrete examples of the links that we can do between industry and higher education institution. So we are in fact two cluster organizations. A cluster is an organization where you have private companies that want to speak with R&D players and with the education part and the public area. So it's the four type of players that we can find in a cluster, and the objective is to make the people speak each other to find new solutions. And of course we have two very hot topics, the energy transition and the water sectors. So of course if you have food more, so the three major challenges for the future is the energy, food and water nexus. So I think I have understood why I was invited with my colleagues from the food industry and Greenwind as well. Our mission is to gather the people, and we are building ecosystem. And I will try to give you some example of ecosystem in Wallonia that are moving right now. So our goals as a cluster is to make a mapping, so to discover what are our knowledge in Wallonia and Brussels in a specific field. When you know the players that are in your region, you can make the networking between them. Our main objective is to put them in investment project or innovation projects. Our second main objective is to go with them abroad, and so to help them to take markets abroad and to sign partnerships, so to work together and to find solutions that you can find alone. And of course, the energy transition and the new way of reuse, for example, water, you have to work with different type of expertise. And so the value chains are becoming more and more difficult. And so alone, you cannot doing quite anything. And so even the big companies, they are quite they need to work with small companies or R&D centers and other partners. And after, I will just give you 3 examples of what we have as knowledge in Wallonia in 3 different sectors. So our first goal, so it's to map really the projects and the partners in the sectors. And so directly the link with the higher education. One example is we have mapped all the academic research related to hydrogen in Wallonia. And of course, we have asked to the the universities, to the R&D centers, and to the higher education institution, what are their knowledge about hydrogen. And so we are doing this mapping with our colleagues from Flanders, and we have a Belgian vision that we propose. We have more than 35 institutions that have been identified where you can find expertise in the hydrogen sector. And so it's very important to know where are the professors and even the PhDs and students that are working in this field, because maybe as you know, but these sectors we will need thousands of jobs in the future. So of course we need engineers in this type of value chain. Another example, we are mapping right now all the water technologies that we have in Wallonia. And of course we have asked to the higher education institution to present us what are their skills about the value chain of water. When I mean water, it's all the cycle of water. It's not just the production and treatment of water. So it's broader. If you have the cycle of water, it's very broad as a topic, but it's very important to know where are the knowledge people that can help, because the challenges are very big. The second topic of a cluster is to make the networking. Of course, it's our first task, is to make the people talk to each other about the topics. And we are there to develop the commercial bonds and links between them. And for me, it's an important link there because we are working for years now with Cinera. With the higher education institution to invite the professor in our networking activities. It's very important to make this link because we are presenting what are the industry are doing typically. And so just to hear what is going on and for sure what will be changed in the future, it's very important to take the needs from the industry. And so more or less our events are open for this type of players, and some of our events are webinars. And so maybe one of the things that we can propose to some professors is to invite some students, for example, the students that have a thesis or work related to our topic. They can be invited in webinars. It's quite easy, and you have directly access to a very good people that are explaining very specific topics. I think it's free. Webinars, it's free. It's very easy to invite students, and you have directly a very competent players, and we invite international players because with webinars you can have the major expert of CO2 valorization in Switzerland. It's quite easy to invite, and what we are doing in our cluster, we try to identify really the good knowledge worldwide. We are involved in a group of clusters worldwide, international clean tech clusters, and so we have access. Last time it was Bertrand Piccard, a well-known aviator, for example. So that type of players, it's webinar, it's free. I think we have to find a channel that for some motivated students then can join this type of events. Innovation, it's the major part of a cluster job day to day, is to identify where we need innovation to move forward towards our objective. So our main objective for TREAD is the energy transition. Energy transition, it means that we have right now a centralized way of producing energy. You have big producing energy, like nuclear, like big gas plants, and you will directly go through the grid network through the consumers, industries, ourselves, small consumers. But in the future, you will have more microgrid aspects of managing the grids, so you will manage locally your energy. Why? Because we have the renewable energy that is booming. The renewables like solar panels, like wind turbines, you will manage your energy locally. And so we have few projects in Wallonia that we have built with our friends of Mecatech, the competitive cluster of mechanics. We have built one project here, it's Miracle. It's a DC project, so when you have the grid is managed by AC, so alternative curve. And here the objective was to make a DC. Why? Because solar, batteries, your cars, electric cars, everything is DC. And so why not to change this between AC, DC, not the group. So DC, AC, it's better in that way. And you will have this transformation. And one of the job of the higher education institution that was involved in the project, you were involved, HEPL.
Yes.
The logo.
Miracle.
You were
Miracle.
involved. So yes. I don't find anymore the logo, or it's a. SECOTP, right. So we have the good logo.
And it's in the Miracle project, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
so you were involved, and your job was really to make a technical advice for the project to see where are the losses and if it's a good point to transfer a grid between AC and so to transform it in DC-DC. And so this technical advice and to make this methodology is very important because we can compare projects between each other. And I think it's very valuable to have this type of methodology with players like higher education institution.
Cedric, just a question. Did the HEPL work well in the Miracle project?
Yes, because
Really? Yes.
last
I have to
week,
say yes.
last week we have shared the good news because it will be the first project in Wallonia that will be DC oriented. So we have the validation of the QAPE, so it's the regulator of energy market, and so we have the approval that the calculation of universities and the higher education institution are good, because otherwise the regulator would say no. So it will be the first project in Wallonia to prove that it's valuable to transform maybe some parts of the grid into DC. So well done, guys.
So congratulations, dear colleagues.
The project, just to sum up, it was to make 7 companies that are exchanging energy, solar, between the batteries, electric vehicles, everything in DC. Another project in OSAR and ATEC CER, it's a project between big energy providers, between IT companies, and with the grid operator of Liège, RESA, and with the University of Liège, Institut Montefiore, and with ELMO, GRAM. And this project was to prove that we can build softwares where we can optimize energy in an economic park, zoning in French word. And this economic part, we try to gather 50, 60 companies where they will try to optimize the energy together. Because when you have some companies, they can maybe exchange energy, electricity or heat, and they can manage it, but you have to prove it. And so you have to build softwares to optimize energy between them. And so the objective was to build softwares, and the job of the higher education institutions were to prove that if we are making this happen, it is valuable for the macroeconomics level and for the CO2 level. So the life cycle analysis was done by the higher education institution, and I think we need this type of methodology to prove that it's valuable to go in that direction and not in another direction, because a lot of projects we say that it's sustainable, but in fact, when we see in macroeconomics, it's not really valuable, so we have to prove it. We don't have the time to have bad projects in terms of CO2 performance. About international, our objective is to help our companies and as well our other partners like higher education to go abroad. So I think one of the speakers that will come is in the photo. So we were in Senegal, and I think, if I remember well, that the higher education institutions were well represented, because I think to put education training I think it's one of the first aspects that we can provide when we go abroad. So as a cluster, objective is to put SMEs abroad, but when we can bring SMEs and higher education institutions, I think it's very valuable for countries like Africa, for example, where they need some capacity building, for example. So we have a project in Morocco. We will provide an electrolysis of hydrogen. An electrolysis, you take water, you take energy, and you will produce hydrogen. We will produce there in Africa, but the first ask that they have, they say to us, yes, but we need 2 months of capacity building because we have to manage the electrolysis. Otherwise, we will have this small electrolysis, but it will be useless. So we need to take this this way of working internationally, and I think there is a lot of opportunities behind. But the next speaker will be a way better than me to present this part. In terms of partnership, we are there to encourage the fact that the people are working together. One example, we have succeeded to take the administration in Wallonia, higher education, partners, universities, R&D centers, industries, everything binded in a sectorial platform. And when we speak about the next challenges about water, and I think I won't explain what is smart specialization. I think it's not the big aspect. The main aspect is we gather these players with the industry, the public operators, the public provider of water, the public treatment water organization, the public organization that are managing the water. Everyone has to give this word about what they are thinking about the future of water and what will be the next challenges. And after we can ask to the SMEs and to the companies to give some solutions. So I think this collaboration and to make this happen, it's quite important for Wallonia because we are a small territory. And finally, the knowledge center, it's really to prove that in Wallonia we have knowledge. We are strong in some specific areas and we want to show it as a cluster. We have some recent discussion. It was only this week we have this discussion with these two institutions about what would be the place in some areas of our value chains. Our value chains, we take, so energy transition, you need renewable energy. You have to manage this energy locally. Afterwards, you can put some assets like batteries, like electric vehicles, that will help the grid, because otherwise if you just put your electric vehicle into the grid, it's a mess, and it will be a mess. But if you localize and you manage your energy, it's very valuable for everyone. So I think there is, for an engineering school, there are a lot of opportunities to give some new ideas, and there is a lot of hackathons, for example, in this type of areas. So how can you produce and manage your energy locally? Afterwards, you can, of course, even if you produce locally, you will need some energy from abroad. We are in Belgium. Sometimes in February, it's raining. There is no sun. There's maybe some wind today, but you will need to import some energy. That's why it's very important to import some molecules. That's where the chemical industry is coming and the chemical part is coming. And we need green molecules, synthetic fuels, and hydrogen to do so. And for Europe, it's very important. For Africa, they will manage with microgrid only in electricity. They can manage because you have so much sun for every day, in fact. But now, for our countries like Belgium, we will need some for 4 months. We will need this energy from abroad, and that's why we have to build a value chain that will come with these synthetic fuels and hydrogen from abroad. And so it's very important to have this knowledge. And our objective is that we have knowledge to bring to the world in that aspect. So I think it's very important to do in that perspective. And just to say what would be, I think, an idea in this aspect is to make a link with all the professors that are managing some courses on projects on renewable energy. In fact, there is this link between industry and the professor. I think it's very valuable to do. Right now, it's individual discussion, but I don't think it's really efficient to make some direct discussion between one professor. For sure, for projects, it's valuable, but to take the needs of industry, maybe we have to find a solution where once a year we have all the professors related to sustainable energy that bound together with industry and have a discussion. I don't know if it's a good idea, but we can maybe be helpful to realize that. And so to finalize my presentation, I will just give you 3 examples of 3 value chain of where I hope that the future engineers that some of you will work, because we need you, as sometimes we say. The industry needs some engineers, for example, in the local energy communities management. I don't know if you know what is energy community, but it's quite a revolution in the energy part. And I think one of the projects will be presented related to that with one of the professor here. And this way of working is just a revolution for energy. So working to manage locally your energy is just a revolution, because you need, you can take a neighborhood, you can take a small city, you can take an economic park, and this part will manage by himself the energy production, consumption, at least for a part. And the first unit where you can manage this energy is a building. So I don't know if you can imagine, but here in Liège, all the buildings, there is no PV panels on the roof, or little bit, and you can maybe wonder why. It's just a legal constraint, because when you have solar panels in the roof, there is apartments, but the owner of the apartments cannot manage the energy that is on the roof. It just can manage the central energy, so the elevator. So that's why you have maybe 2 solar panels on the roof just for the elevator and some lighting. So it's just a legal constraint. We have a new legal framework in Wallonia that will go and reduce this constraint, and you will have a lot of production of solar that is shared by the apartments. And so if you rent an apartment, so for the future engineers, you will start by renting an apartment. You can manage your energy. Otherwise, you are out of the market. And so it's always for the big, the house, the rich people that are managing the production. But the solar panels is a more efficient and a less cost way of producing your energy. And this type of project, you will be able to manage it, to own a part of your solar installation. So it's quite revolutionary. The 2 of the 3 examples, it's hydrogen in synthetic fuels. The value chain is quite broad. It's coming from production, transportation, distribution, technology providers. Here we have the chance in Liège to have the global player of electrolysis production. So they are looking for 200 or 300 engineers for the next 2 years, so if you are interested. There are engineers and hydrogen end users. So when we see this value chain, it's very complex, because it's between chemical industry. There is, when we have an electrolysis, it's a membrane, it's very difficult technology in itself. You need the electricity expertise, so everything related to DC. You have the developing part, the engineering part, so it's quite broad, it's quite exciting as an industry. And we are working with 100 players in Wallonia to speak about these topics. That is one of the major aspect of the energy transition. Right now, hydrogen represents 2% of our energy worldwide, and maybe in 2000, I don't know, 35, 40, it will represent 10%, but it's already so much challenge to move from 2 to 10 or to 20 that we will need a lot of engineers to realize that, and there is a lot of challenge behind. And last but not least, circular water management of water. I don't know if you remember a few weeks ago, a lot of noise about the PFAS, so the micropollutants management. It's a very important topic, and when you manage the water, in fact, or you find solution to reduce the PFAS into the industry, or you try to find solution to manage the PFAS when it's in the environment. And you see that even if you burn this type of pollutants, it will come back. That's why they are called non-ending pollutants. And so we have to find solution. And right now we try to find, with our friends of the competitive cluster, some solution. And we think that we have good companies that can find solution on it. Another very important topic is when you try to reduce the energy pollutants, you will need some energy. So more and more you have macropollutants in the environment, that is a fact. More and more you need energy to treat the water, and more it's a difficulty for the water industry to provide you water that is good quality and a good price. And so, yeah, it's a major issue, and so there is a real need to manage this water more locally, typically to reuse some water. Even if we think that it's raining a lot in Wallonia, we will need to reuse our water sooner or later. So we need to tackle this challenge, and I think engineers are the first door to take this challenge up. Thank you.
Thank you, Cedric. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. Managing water is such a huge but such an important challenge for the future, but for now already. So, thank you. You can go and sit if you want. Thank you so much. And now, finally, oh, you are there already, Nathalie. Okay, so we are welcoming our colleagues from the Haute École de la Province de Liège, Nathalie Gerlache and Stéphane Monfils. They will focus on some research projects led by the HEPL. You start, Nathalie?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, let me check this.
That works.
It's
Thank
your
you.
turn.
So I'm Nathalie Gerlache. I'm the research coordinator at HEPL, and I will speak about our research project. So HEPL distinguishes itself to its commitment to innovative research geared towards a sustainable future. In close adequacy with the teams promoted by Unigreen University, our research projects aim to reconcile environmental imperatives with the economic development of Wallonia. This synergy between academia and industry constitutes our fundamental pillar of our research. So certainly, when one thinks about Unigreen, agriculture and biotechnology immediately come to mind. However, the theme of the environment can be developed across all departments of HEPL in their research projects. The presentation will be divided in two parts. I will present some completed or nearly completed projects, when my colleague, Stéphane, will address 3 new projects that have just begun. So let's delve into research within the electronics department with the Antelope project. This project was developed based on a sobering observation. Air pollution claims more than 600 million people in the world every day. And unfortunately, the Walloon region is ill-equipped to measure this pollution. Current sensors pose several drawbacks, with cost being the most significant. Consequently, some years ago, there were only 23 measurement stations in Wallonia, preventing the creation of an accurate pollution map. This is why we initiated the Antelope project to develop small air pollution detectors with high spatial and temporal resolution, drastically reducing the cost to approximately €500. Of course, the trade-off is a decrease in precision. The first version of the prototype is called Antelope, but it has evolved based on needs. For example, the Saga, the big sister of Antelope, is a module designed to be installed at a fixed point and is equipped with a photovoltaic panel. The Impala can be installed in a vehicle. Our modules were developed in collaboration with HEPL, the Institute for Environmental Monitoring. Why measure fine particles, nitrogen oxides, or ozone? For two main reasons. Their major impact on health, for sure, and more importantly, the high prevalence in urban areas. Thanks to its low cost, HEPL has been able to deploy an extensive network of measurement points and has developed a website that allows real-time tracking of pollution in the city. You see here the pollution on the 25th of January in Charleroi, a big city in Wallonia. Our electronic engineers has also delved in collaboration with Manakin, SMA close to Liège, into the issue of declining bee populations, not only because the province has installed beehives on the roof of its buildings, but primarily because bees play a crucial role in pollinating cultivated plants that ensure our food supply. We are right in the heart of the One Health team promoted by Unigreen. So the decline of bee populations is attributed to multiple factors, including the excessive use of insecticide, climate change, the presence of Asian hornets and parasites. The mortality rate in Belgium is estimated at 20% per year. Therefore, there is an urgent need to better understand the phenomenon and to take action. So we have created with a connected beehive enabling non-invasive monitoring through sensors. This data will allow beekeepers to better plan their visits based on the needs, understand the causes of mortality, and most importantly, attempt to reduce it by optimizing the beekeeper's action. So we have placed temperature sensor directly on the frames, implemented a counting system for the number of bees entering and exiting the hives using optical detectors. The system prevents hornets from entering the hive due to this little hole here. And the camera detects the presence of varroa, a common parasite of bees. Swirl gauges are used to assess the weight of the hive and consequently the honey production, enabling the extraction of honey at an opportune moment without disturbing the proper functioning of the hive. The detection of varroa, the tiny parasite that ultimately leads to the death of the bees, is achieved through cameras and artificial intelligence. This knowledge enables beekeepers to treat their colonies at the right time. So you can see here the complete system with the final assembly and the monitoring system on the right there. So not everything for electronics. Let's now discuss the biochemistry projects. By nature, they are directly connected to the team of Unigreen. One of the oldest projects is AmiSpin, which can be referred to as the fitness of cells. In the field of health, therapeutic treatment and diagnostic tests are carried out using molecules with particular properties. These molecules are produced by cells, but they produce little and for a very short time. We have therefore developed a cellular fitness which makes it possible to stimulate these cells so that they produce 2 to 10 times more antibodies than before, and while extending their lifespan. So the creation of the AmpliCell spin-off brought the fruition this research carried out over 10 years. Its clients were pharmaceutical companies spread all over the world. However, to enable the company to attack the medical market, it was deemed preferable to sell it to a group that already had experience in this very specialized field. This is, however, exceptional and has enabled numerous students to be trained by the researcher himself in this very, very cutting-edge subject and to develop other research projects with the company. This is the case with the MapVer project, which explored the possibility of using tobacco cells instead of animal cells. So, Professor Cloes, who was at the time the initiator of the biochemistry projects, also took a deep interest in the antioxidant properties of certain foods, such as liège syrup. If you don't know that, you should try. Or wine. I must say that the visits to the industries were very particularly enjoyable. This naturally leads us to the research conducted by our colleagues of the Health and Dietetic departments. The NutriCon project uses proteins found in whey, a byproduct of cheese production, to create microsphere enriched with cinnamon and usable as a supplement for the diet of elderly individuals. This project is not finished, so the team is now working on a new project, still use whey, to produce an oral nutritional supplement rich in pre- and probiotics. If the project is a success, it will address the issue of whey disposal. It would become a real co-product economically viable. So now I will pass the floor to my colleague Stefan, who will present 3 new projects that are just beginning and represent the immediate future of research at HEPL.
Thank you, Nathalie. You made it. Thank you. Okay, let's go on with the other project here, the HEPL.
Yes, thanks. Hi, everyone. So I'm here to present 2 research projects that are currently going on at the HEPL. Some of you might know about one of them, but we'll get to that later. The first project is called Locomotrice, and it's somewhat in line with what Cédric presented earlier, which are the energy communities. So I won't bother you with the full name of the project because it's quite extensive, but as often this name hides quite a number of important elements to understand what it is about. So you can see that it's about creating an open source software that will help us manage energy communities, and I'll get to that in a minute. You can also see that it is co-created with citizen cooperatives, and that's very important for us, but it was kind of a surprise, I must say, when we learned that the research project had been accepted with a civilian partner, with a citizen cooperative, while the call for project was intended for the development of industrial solutions. But here we are, never lose hope. we are in partnership also with the University of Liège, and the research is handled there by the Building Energy Monitoring and Simulation Research Unit, which is a part of the Department of Environmental Sciences and Management. The project is listed, as you see, under Computer Sciences Research because the HEPL is responsible for the software development, while the University of Liège is responsible for the energy community aspects of the project. So, same info here, but I added the much needed information. Indeed, energy communities are just developing in Wallonia, as Cedric said. The legal and juridical framework just was completed not even a year ago. So there are very few existing energy communities for now, but there are also very few energy community management platforms available, and those that exist are quite expensive, considering the context of intellectual property and, let's say, monopoly of the game. So we needed to create something that would not burn a hole in the pockets of the citizens who use it, and a platform which would not absorb all their potential savings. Plus, the open source concept is very much important to us because it means transparency and reliability, flexibility, independence, large distribution, and an open, adaptable, and interoperable collaboration. So what is an energy community? Cedric already said quite something about it, but basically it is the possibility for what we call the prosumers, meaning those who produce energy but are also consumers, the possibility for them to share their energy. Share it for a price, of course, not to give it away. So it was established quite soon that the advantages of these energy communities should be environmental, of course, and social, and not just economic. So financial gains should not be the main focus here. Well, I encourage you to try and talk people into that. It's not easy, but I digress. The objective, in fact, is to increase the self-consumption of the energy that is produced locally, say through photovoltaic panels, for example. And self-consumption is nowadays very crucial. It's a crucial point because we have some changes, some foreseen changes in the future, for example, in tariffs related to injection rates, or the problems that our networks are facing since the notable increase in decentralized, renewable, and intermittent energy production. So by sharing any excess electricity that you produce with your neighbors, global self-consumption is increased, and the producer gets to sell it at a better price, below the market value, of course, otherwise people would not be interested in buying it. So now a question could be, why would we need a management platform? Well, because there are a lot of technicalities that needs to be managed. Who gets what in terms of energy? Who pays what in terms of money? Who's in, who's out, for example? And as you can see here, there are a lot of functionalities that this type of tool could operate. It's about getting a smart interface which could manage the administrative and financial aspects of the project. There's, of course, the crucial aspects of energy repartition and data collection and billing. But what we hope to do it is to give this platform the possibility to propose solutions to increase said self-consumption. So as the use of alert services to communicate availability of energy, or the use of a building's flexibility, for example, the capacity to use an electric boiler to heat domestic hot water when there is an excess of electricity available. The whole concept of energy community and of the platform that we are trying to create here is in the end to raise the consumers' awareness, make them appropriate their own energy consumption, electrical consumption in this case. So now this one you might know about. The Unigreen project, which gathers the same partners than the Unigreen project, basically tries to promote the green transition and sustainable practices in education and training. I won't go through the objectives because you'll notice some consistency between the Unigreen and Unigreen projects, and that's a good thing. This project is not new. It's ending in August of this year. Results 1 and 2 have already been achieved, and we are currently working on results 3 and 4. Results 1 is the publication of guidelines for educational and training establishments, and the recommendations that are in there are the starting point for the result 2, which is the development of a green label for HEIs. It is basically a referential, a sustainability referential for sustainable institutions, which is focusing on 3 areas: the infrastructure and resources. It's the main area with, I think, 65% of the points attributed there on criteria like energy consumption and production, carbon footprint, water and waste management, etc. Then there's the administrative management, teaching and learning area with criteria like the digitalization of education and embedment of sustainability in curricula, and we can find 25% of the points there. And community commitment and awareness, basically engaging the educational community, but reaching out to the wider community for promoting behavioral changes. And we are now setting up the online training program and the virtual hub and the knowledge toolbox. If you're interested, the next meeting is in April in Almeria. I'm sure you know about it.
Can we come?
As you can see, the list of criteria is quite extensive.
Yeah, shortly, please.
So I know you can't read it, but that's not the point. I have no time to go through them right now, but I encourage you to find out from the consortium, I encourage you to find out who in your institution is working on this. I won't name names, I won't point fingers, but you can ask them. And then there is, of course, all everything around those criteria. So you can find here the simplified list of the criterias. There's also a whole structure behind the referential description of the questions, of course, to make our request as clear as possible. A scoring system, which depends on the answers, which is possible within 4 options. Those 4 options. There is, of course, a need for evidence for the answers we get, and there's the possibility to get a master level bonus to highlight some good pointers for the institutions. So that is all for me.
Okay. Natalie, may I ask you to go to the point quickly, because we'd like to keep time for the questions.
Okay, so very short.
Yes.
So,
thank you.
To conclude, a few words.
Great.
About the photowater project. So, some few words, because it involves industrial partner, and we have committed not to disclose any industrial secret. So, like all countries, Belgium and Wallonia, of course, aims to develop renewable energies, including boosting the installation of photovoltaic panels. Besides individual installation on rooftops, like you or me, creating large surfaces of panel directly competes with using fields for agriculture. Given the country's high density, the situation of green spaces will quickly become an issue. That's why we came up with the idea of installing this panel on currently unused freshwater surfaces, such as quarry lakes, for instance. However, sunlight is also essential for the survival of biodiversity in these lakes. The concern is that the panels may reduce the lighting of surface waters, potentially harming biodiversity. Implementing in Wallonia solar installations across just 10% of the surface area of the 6 largest hydroelectric dam reservoirs could achieve a capacity of 63 megawatt grid, which is triple their current hydroelectric production capacity. This doesn't even include the vast potential offered by the quarry lakes. However, this graph shows us that at certain times of the year and even at certain times of the day, the light exceeds the level necessary for plant photosynthesis. We assume that depriving them of the surplus would have no negative impact. Another unexpected advantage is in the context of climate change, reducing the evaporation of lakes. So I finished, don't worry.
Great.
This is the challenge of this research, optimizing the inclination of the panels throughout the day and year to reconcile two seemingly contradictory objectives, optimizing electricity production efficiency and reducing the negative impact on biodiversity. So, here is. This concludes this brief presentation of the projects at HEPL, and I hope it has sparked your interest. And as Sandra is in a hurry, I will thank you for your attention. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathalie. Thank you so much. I'm sorry. No, thank you, because you highlight the link and connection with the school and the clusters, just like Cedric's one. So thank you. Thank you. Dear colleagues, so to conclude this conference, let's listen to Pascal Delcominet, CEO of the Wallonia Export and Investment Agency and of the agency in charge of the international relations of Wallonia and Brussels. Thank you. Please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. I'm very happy to be here to share a few points about the pivotal role of international research and innovation partnerships. And through my lens, through the lens of the institutions I'm in charge of, it's Wallonia Brussels International and AWEX, the Walloon Export and Investment Agency. So I will start. Yes, I will start with a few words on these institutions, and then I will share with you some points about the recent policy developments of Wallonia geared to enhancing competitiveness in Wallonia and innovation. And then moving forward, I will underscore the importance of research and innovation for the institutions I represent, which are research and innovation are at the core of our role, our mission. And lastly, I will give you some concrete example of actions of support we give to the ecosystem. So first, Wallonia Brussels International is a kind of Ministry for Foreign Affairs for French-speaking Belgium, so that's in a nutshell. It means that we are supporting all stakeholders, artists, creators, students, higher education institutions, NGOs, but also clusters, innovation clusters we are supporting in their international endeavors. And we have a network in the world, in the whole world, to support all those initiatives. And AWEX, so well, it's more or less the same. We are supporting also stakeholders, but mostly enterprises to go global. So we help them to export, but also to have technological connections with international partners, and we attract foreign investors. And so both are working together, both agencies, and we are really supporting all the value chain, so from academia to research, innovation, and commercial enterprises to go global as a whole. And we have for that about 80 focal points all around the world to help those partners to go global. And so, well, in today's rapidly evolving global economic situation, landscape, it's imperative for regions and countries to stay ahead. And so let's see how Wallonia developed specific initiatives just to stay ahead and to foster robust international research and innovation collaboration. So you've heard with all the speakers today that ecosystems, clusters, innovation clusters in Wallonia are really a success story. And that success story is clearly linked to the good collaboration between academia and industry, supported by the government. So that's what we call the triple helix, so the three working together. And in new models, we also see the importance, and I've seen that model also on the slide of Enrique for Greenwin. We also see the importance of having that triple helix university, because that's an MIT model, but higher education institutions, government and corporate industry, but also to involve more and more entrepreneurs and risk capital to boost up the innovation. And so, in that model, higher education institutions in Wallonia are really key actors for the model, key innovation actors. And as you probably know, we have two different networks, the key TOs networks, knowledge transfer offices networks, one for the universities, LIEU, and one for the university colleges, CINERA, which has been mentioned before. So yes, here what I wanted to mention, that the strategy of Wallonia doesn't come out of nowhere. The importance, I want to stress here the importance of the alignment between the European level, the national level, and the regional level. So as you probably know, the 27 members of the EU have decided to collectively to fight against climate change by investing massively in the Green Deal. And so Unigreen, by the way, is a perfect initiative, perfectly aligned with those that global objective. And at the national level, so the second one, well, Belgium has been taken a very active role in that kind of initiative, the European political initiative, starting with the Green Deal. And so Belgium has established an ambitious roadmap around the Green Deal, around the recovery plan also, but based on its specific assets. And then, at the third level, the regional level, well, following the EU initiatives and then the federal initiative, well, Wallonia has developed a new smart specialization strategy induced by the Europe, and also recovery plan with priorities completely aligned with the two other levels. That's very important. So yes, the S3, as it was also mentioned, I think, on the UN presentation for Wagralim. So the S3 is really the framework, the strategic framework for research and innovation policy and the industrial policy in Wallonia. And so the new smart specialization aims at improving the effectiveness of the regional innovation policies by addressing the societal challenges that we face. The societal challenges, how can I point? This one? To point? Yes. So those one, resource optimization of resource, climate, biodiversity, energy transition, inclusive society, and health and nutrition. So those are the societal challenges that we face. And so we have based our strategy on 5 strategic innovation areas, which are those one: circular materials, energy, systems and sustainable habitats. This is Industry 4.0, it's simpler. Health, enhanced health for the future, and agri-food chains and environmental management. So those are the 5 domains on which we are focusing on our support: innovation support, research support, and also international support. And it's also important to mention, I mean, I don't know if you can see it, the green transition is a transversal priority all along the five strategic innovation area. So that's really what we are working on. So what's the role of AWEX and WBI and all that? Well, my colleague and the speakers have kindly mentioned AWEX and WBI, supporting them, because yes, we are supporting all the stakeholders in their international objectives. And so I will focus here more on WBI, since I'm addressing a higher education ecosystem today. So WBI, as you see, we are supporting all the internationalization of all the actors of research and innovation. Namely, we are doing other things too. But and how? Well, by creating collaboration with other foreign research and innovation organization through our international networks. I was talking about the 80 different points all around the world, so they are helping all the research innovation to get new partners. Also by strengthening the presence and the visibility of Wallonia science and technology in the international research programs or networks. And also negotiating bilateral agreements through which we can support international research and innovation projects, and also the mobility of researchers that you can become. And finally, we gather regularly all the actors of research and innovation in a platform to share about international strategy. And I will give a few examples of the projects we are supporting, of the initiative that we take. For example, yes, the participation to state visits to big economic mission. I think that Cédric talked about that, about a mission we had in Senegal, and in which we have, of course, companies, since they are economic missions, but also, yes, academia, research centers, all together. So the objective is really to reference them and to put them in contact with local partners in the country that we are heading. To which we are heading. We are also participating to innovation meetings. I gave the example of Polytech in the environment sector, in which we have in universities, research centers, also the innovation clusters. There's also a picture of one of the speakers, Enrique. So we were there with Greenwin. During those 4 days, for example, at Polytech, professionals, they showcase the innovative solutions that they can propose to tackle the environmental issues. So the objective is really to foster a collaborative environment to share the knowledge and to find solutions. Another example here is about, yes, the scientific and technological watch that you are doing for all our stakeholders, but also the way that we are trying to position all Wallonia Brussels stakeholders in European projects, for example, Horizon Europe or Eranet, for example, projects. And we have been in the last year organizing a lot of matchmaking events online, namely, as you can see here, with several partners that have been discussing today with TREE, the Greenwin, so in the field of green hydrogen, battery-related technologies, but also agrobiotech or biosolutions. And finally, I will have a few words about Interact. So Interact, it's about territorial cooperation, in which Wallonia is well involved, as well in transnational programs and also cross-border programs, and in which for decades our higher education institutions have been involved and took this opportunity to develop innovation projects, namely in the field of the Unigreen Alliance. So a few examples, Northwest Europe, so it's transnational cooperation. For example, this program, IT for Anxiety, is about innovation solutions for reducing the anxiety of patients suffering from mental disorders. 26 partners, and one of them to universities, but one of them is La Haute École de la Province de Namur. We have also for France, Wallonie, Vlaanderen, 3 programs in life science and one in sustainable development, agrobiotech. Also with a lot of partners, one with La Haute École de Louvain-en-Hainaut, the other one for the potato disease is the Cis-Transpomme with the Université La Haute École de la Province du Hainaut. And then we have also Région Meuse-Rhin with Rolling Solar, so obviously about energy, and also with the 21 partners, with universities and research centers, industries, of course, and Elmo, which is also a haute école here in Liège. But last but not least, of course, I couldn't end without talking about HEPL, La Haute École de la Province de Liège, with the projects about technology, healthcare, education. It's about better alignment between education and technology in healthcare and the job market. 5 partners, of which CECOTP, which is the research centers of HEPL, la Haute École de la province du Hainaut. So I guess, qu'est-ce que je dis? Sorry. What did I say? Haute École de la province de Liège. HEPL is easier maybe. So it exists probably similar programs in which member states from which the Unigreen members comes that are working on similar priorities dealing always with societal challenges. That's important. So in conclusions, what I wanted to share with you, and I guess also what the other speakers wanted to share with you today, is to stress the vital role of international research and innovation partnerships in driving economical growth and sustainability. The standalone is not an option. And I guess that's really what all the speakers have underlined today. I also wanted to highlight the necessary alignment between European, national and regional priorities in order to boost the economy and the innovation. And also I wanted to stress the necessity of the collaboration between academia, industry and the government. That's also no other option. The famous triple helix, and we are good at that in Wallonia, as you have seen through the different testimonies of the speakers today. We have sectors of excellence in agri-food, in green tech, in biotech, in new environment, in green hydrogen, water. So that's really something we have to nurture. We have to nurture those partnerships to address the global societal challenges, and that's all the sectors in which you can work. So we need you, as Cedric said, we need you in those STEM sectors. We need you to do research in those program. We need you to go abroad to encounter, to see other partners, and to grow and to support the economy and the innovation in Wallonia. It's our challenge, it's our responsibility, and I thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Delcominet, for your presentation and for these conclusions. Thank you. So now we have reached the end of this conference, so thank you all for your attention. Maybe if you can stay seated just a few minutes, because I'm sure you have a lot of questions to ask our speakers. And as you say, as standalone is not an option, I would like to ask two lecturers to come and join me, please. Enrique, Spanish, English, French, I don't know. Yuan, okay. Cedric, Stefan, can you come here for maybe asking some questions? And Natalie, Amel. Oh, okay, I see, okay. Thank you so much. So I'm going to leave this. So feel free to raise your hand if you have a question to ask. Michael, you can go. Yeah, because for me it's a little bit more difficult. The first one is maybe okay. Thank you.
We, in our region, our university, within the region, we are very interested in a program of talent attraction and overall travels retention. I'm University of Modena Reggio Emilia, sorry, Unimore. We are within Unigreen, obviously, but the question is not strictly related to Unigreen, but the activity we are doing in our region with the other university. So the program of talent attraction and retention overall is very important in all European developed region. So I saw that you mentioned the problem in different aspects, but I kindly ask you which is the strategy to attract and overall to for the retention of the talents. Thanks.
You start. Thank you, Amal.
Yeah, I will start. I'm sure my colleagues here have also good answers to this. At least in our sector, in the life science industry, the attraction of the talents. So if you mean attraction, first of all, attracting them into the studies of the life science in general is already a big deal. There are a lot of initiatives that are already ongoing nationally, but it's difficult to measure how efficient it is. We are still working on this. The strategy is to keep on taking science out of the lab, making it more accessible. And the reason why we are here today, presenting you very, very concrete projects, is that you understand what is the use of the science, and to make it clear in your mind what you can do, and where you can go. I think it's one of the reasons that we are here, and that I hope that all the people sitting here have a better idea of the field, or at least the industry they want to go to, because I think the clearer your vision is, then the more efficient you are in your studies and in your later decisions and in your career decisions. Now, concerning the retention, so we had a a conference about this, and we invited 3 CEOs, and each one of them mentioned the way they were trying to retain. Of course, we talk a lot about the culture of the company, but I think it's key. The fact that the company is really aware of the needs of the new generation, and the new generation has green considerations. And the 3 companies that were present at that day made sure that they gave alternatives and green solutions to their employees. They're aware of the sourcing of their material, the sourcing of the sourcing of their raw material in their production, but also the sourcing of the food they have, and so on. So they're really aware. They also have incentives on mobility, a greener mobility. That's also part of the other thing. So a company now, if they want to retain a younger generation, has on top of our, let's say, responsibility, it's also a key to retain the people, and also working on the environment of your company, because with the COVID, many people stayed home, and bringing back people in your company is a real challenge. So there is a company that really worked on the atmosphere of the work space. Their CEO really made sure that when you came to the office, it felt like you were in your living room and you felt good, and that was one way to retain the people, on top, of course, of the culture and the project.
Okay, so attractivity and then retention. Something else, complete maybe.
Well, I'm completely aligned with what Amal has just said. I would add that it's also very crucial that higher education institutions and the industry, they really have to work together even more closer, to get contacts, to work together, to showcase, to give visibility to the different jobs that you can get while going to the STEP jobs. So I think that there's still something to do there with all the federation of companies and the universities, the university colleges. That's something that should be done, even at a lower level, even at the secondary school, to convince the young people to go in those kind of jobs. But I guess that's a problem in every single country.
Someone else, maybe? No? Are you satisfied with the answer? Okay, thank you. Another question, thank you.
Hi, Marta Mendel from the Warsaw University of Life Sciences, also a part of Unigreen. I have more a comment than maybe a question, but maybe you would like to comment on my comment. So first of all, I think that we all agree and appreciate all the projects, but what we might focus much more in the future is citizen science. So to get maybe people really much more involved, and while looking on the partners, I think that something that we should take into our heart to build this relationship and to have citizens on board and then to contribute better to all of those projects. And that brings me to a comment/question. Are you in the region have any pre-university program to encourage people and get interested to life sciences and even more to agri-food sector? Because I think this is a crucial problem, that agriculture, agronomy does not sound that interesting for very young people. And it's only later when we understand how important it is, especially nowadays in the view of different crises that we experience. So my question would be, are you thinking, or is there at the moment on the table pre-university network or some activity to attract also those very young people and turn their attention to those challenges?
Thank you for your question. Yuan?
No, if not, I can say something.
Someone, please.
I can say something. So first, actually, we before entering, the work on STEM awareness, we made a list. So we said, okay, what's happening in Belgium, what's happening, so there are many initiatives actually. I'm turning it to Nadine, but around 20 initiatives that are very local, that are trying to really connect with the schools, to connect with the universities. So there are things happening. I think, again, we need to market about it, to talk about it, and make it even more accessible. But I think also our focus is on changing the mindset of some industries on the way they can interact more with HEPL and other higher education, is really thinking about dual education. So in some industries it does work, or in some other countries, like in France, it's a reflex they have. It's something usual. Here in Belgium, I think in some industries it's working. In the life science, not so much, and that's what we are hoping to do, to have people, have a seat here at school, and another place in the company, so that they can understand better what they're doing. The company get also to help them in making their learnings even more concrete. You see, there are many projects that are ongoing in companies, so really having students going in between, I think, would be a good way to even anchor them in this sector.
So if I may just bring the agri-food sector point of view, we have colleagues, mostly Competencies Center, is working on raising awareness of secondary school students about the opportunities that we have in the agri-food sector. So it works quite well. So at least before choosing their future, like in higher education or university, at least some school in Wallonia has this type of training or info session organized by our colleagues. What makes things a little bit complicated is, as explained, the agri-food sector is a very diversified sector with a lot of sub-sector and sub-techniques. And sometimes students, once they choose their future, they ignore the opportunities they have in the agri-food sectors. Like a bioengineer, sometimes they would say, okay, I will go to a pharmaceutical companies instead of knowing there's also companies working on the solution for agriculture and other R&D departments. So we are working on it. It's not perfect, but we are aware the importance of lacking of talent. And we are facing this challenge every day. Our companies is constantly asking us how can they increase their attractiveness for having more employees working for them.
Thank you for your answer. Thank you so much. I think it was clear and complete. Okay, great. Another question maybe, because we're perfectly on time. No one? No? You have a question? It's good. Yes.
So yeah, because we've been grilled here, so now I have a question for you. So just by raising hands, where are the students? Okay, so it's really great to see you here. I'm happy that you stayed till the end. I hope you learned many things. So on those students, who knows, like, in which industry, or do they have an idea of the industry they want to go to, or they still need some, info? What is, like, who is certain of the industry he wants to go to? There is one. Okay. Wow. Okay. Maybe can we pass the microphone? You can speak in French. It can.
Non,
Achille. Tu peux parler en français, si tu veux, Achille.
As you want.
Or English.
No, in English, Achille.
In English.
Thank you.
Sorry.
What is your question?
Yes. So my question is, so you know in which industry you would like to go to, and which one is it? Can you share?
I would like to work in the motorsport in the future, and I would like to make many jobs and discover a lot of things and have many experience in this industry. So at the moment, I don't know what will be my job in the future, where I will be in 5 years, 10 years. I have no ideas right now, but I would like to discover, and I would like to have a lot of assets to be good and increase my experience in this world and being the best in the future.
Okay, great. So I can already tell you there are some companies here in Liège that are working on the sport tech industry. And they're financed with local investor. They're working on, increasing the let's say the green field in sports. They're working on the muscles of the sport people. So there are companies concretely working already in this, and they would be happy if you open the door and ask for an internship, or like just to have some connections with them, discussion. So that's actually, an example of what you can do. Really, is like, okay, pick one, try to dig, see what's happening, and see if that fits what you're looking for. Thank you, Achille, for sharing this.
No worries, thank you to you.
Thank you, Achille. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for your attention and involvement. I know it's lunchtime, but today we have a very special guest, who is our General Director, Salvatore Anzalone, who will come here and conclude this inspiring morning. And during that time, thank you. I think you have some words as well. Yes.
I just like to thank your... stay here, please, a little moment. Thank you very much. And thank you for your interventions, your speaks, your passion, and your visit here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Merci à vous.
Merci.
Ça, c'était vraiment de la faute. Alors, il reste ici.
Well, it's going to be very short. Thank you for calling me a special guest star. I'm not, even though some people think I'm very special. First of all, I'd like to welcome the presence of so many students at this conference. I hope that today, more than yesterday, they are taking the full measure of what a European university can offer them in terms of mobility opportunities, in terms of joint degrees, collaboration on international projects, including research projects. I hope that this conference has met your expectations. As far as we are concerned, I can confirm that this has far exceeded our expectations. In fact, when we decided on the subject of this conference, we had a twofold objective. On the one hand, we want